the Ministry of Truth.
Amber Knoxville.
So the Department of Homeland Security has a new department called the Department of Disinformation. I think this is an opinion piece, but I basically just wanted to get y'all's opinion, like about this. I don't know if it's
real.
No, not real. Like, I don't know if it's actually officially a thing or if it's something that they have to go through to see to implement. Like, it's one of Biden's, like, this is what I want to do kind of thing. Okay, the creation of a board announced last week has turned into a partisan fight over disinformation itself and what role, if any, the government should have in policing false at toxic times in even violent content online. Within hours of the announcement, Republican lawmakers began railing against the board as Orwellian, accusing the Biden administration of creating a quote ministry of truth to police people's thoughts. Two professors writing on opinion column in the Wall Street Journal noted that the abbreviation for the new Disinformation Governance Board was only one letter off from KGB. That blah blah blah. We in the Department of Homeland Security don't want American citizens. What?
The letters was close to what? What are the letters?
One letter off from KGB.
What's the letter off? DGB. Disinformation and Governance Board. DGB. It was only one letter off. Okay.
Oh,
I know this is an opinion piece, but that's also one letter off from AGB. It's also one letter off from CGB. Like, what the fuck type of opinion is that? It's just one letter off from KG. Is that a thing? Because a thing is one letter off. Now things don't even have to be the thing. They just need to be off, and then it's, haha, but he's almost Illuminati. Not for real, but he's almost this. What type of opinion is that to have about anything? Man, the way I just became disinterested in this person's opinion is crazy.
Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, has found himself on the defensive. In a television interview on CNN on Sunday, he insisted that the new board was a small group, that it had no operational authority or capability, and that it would not spy on Americans. And how would you monitor disinformation then?
I also don't know what it would do then. Like, it would just like bring up a flag, or
what do they have access to?
Yeah, like they're scared of being a thought police, so they're just saying they're only reviewing thoughts or statements. Most people are, I guess, are scared of them actually becoming a thought police if they get resources, or if they get the ability to enforce something. So they would have to spell out what they can actually do as far as just fucking, you know, enforcing anything. Do they just put like a sticker and be like, hey, this is potentially disinformation and stuff like that?
Hey, just letting you know, it come to your door like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Like how TikTok was for a while. I think YouTube also, when it came to COVID, how sometimes we would put certain things in our videos, how there was always that notice on the bottom.
I think that's what they would do.
I keep imagining the race every time.
But would they do that to the actual
Boggins
civilization, or would they do that to companies specifically? Like, for example, Twitter. For example, since Elon Musk recently got Twitter, and some people are conspiracizing that they making this move because Elon Musk bought Twitter. So, will they be able to do that specifically only for Twitter, like Instagram, Facebook, like social medias, or would they go out of their way to monitor individuals? Like, how would they do that? Wouldn't that mean like certain?
That's the dilemma of the information age, though. I mean, even corporations that run off of information don't know what the fuck to do with it, because it's so new and they're trying, and then people are bitching and they're like, you can't silence Trump, and then they're just like, oh fuck, well, we tried something. And then, like, if they didn't do anything, people would have bitched that they need to silence him. And the same catch-22. So the government getting involved
is what's
it
crazy.
Makes some sense, just because it's like it kind of is a scapegoat for the corporations, I would say. But at the same time, the government getting involved is the government getting involved, and that's kind of, yeah, you're right, spooky.
Finish your thoughts.
I don't think they'd be able to affect the corporations as much as they would like to. If anything, they would be just putting, like we were saying, the disclaimers on things. But this isn't like China, where like they own a share, or the government itself owns a share of the corporation, so they wouldn't be able to do anything outside of just be like, hey, stop that, unless it's like super egregious and stuff like that, and they find an intention and like a premeditated action on like false information. Then, you know, they would enforce something.
If they get rid of spam Twitter accounts, that's cool.
Like bots, as they say.
Yeah, bots.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I don't think they can do that.
They can't do that though. These niggas wild.
I don't think they can do that because that's not like a.
But they can do this.
That's not like a system problem as much as you think it is. It's more of a people problem. Like, people make those things and they find the loopholes to figure out different ways to do it. Like, systemically, I'm sure they have tons of procedures that they try to do it, but people think faster than the system and stuff like that. And then even then, like the system's so big that when you move, if people move right and they shift right, it takes a long time because you don't know like what you're gonna step over and stuff like that, and it's like a sinking ship. Like if one leak gets plugged, another one opens up and stuff like that. I don't think that like Elon Musk suddenly buying it is going to solve all of Twitter's bot problems and stuff like that. There'll still be somebody that's going to hack it.
I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about if the government wants to make a thought police, why don't they spend their time stopping little bots on social? If they're going to spend money to do something dumb like this, like, don't target people's actual free speech.
Well, the argument is the Department of Homeland Security, you got an issue at the border. Why is money going to this and not fixing the border problem? That's the
why this nigga want 13 more billion to go to fucking Ukraine, and we got goddamn, man, look, I know.
Don't let John get mad. I'm the one who
niggas is wild. Nigga want niggas to pay student debt to send it to Ukraine? Boy, fuck you. You wild.
No, they wanna forgive some student debt.
No, they want to forget. What I tell you, every time niggas get mad at Joe, he gonna give him a little
cookie.
Yeah. My bad.
You want a cookie? Do that shit all fucking time.
He's such a
he won and he never spoke about student loans ever again.
He said no at first.
Yeah.
He said no. He literally said he campaigned that he was gonna do something about it. Then he got in, he said no. Then some shit went left in Ukraine. Then he was like, oh, student loan forgiveness, maybe. Like, what?
Well, no, that's funny. Yeah. No, it's funny you say that because that's exactly how it was phrased. We'll start talking about student loans again.
Well, the other thing, too, I don't understand is, like, this is a more dilemma, but, like, with the Platinum Plan, like, Trump had a check that he was just kind of, I'm elaborating or exaggerating, but he basically had a check that, like, he was waiting to sign when he wanted to just put money into, like, the black community's business and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Biden's done anything like that. So I was just kind of like, fuck. Like,
what has he done?
I think he's just kind of stopped posting on Twitter and the country calmed down. So I genuinely do believe that Trump might have been reelected had he just not used Twitter. And so, I mean, everything else is like kind of.
Hey, man, shout out that bird that shit on Joe.
Away. So I don't know too much more about that. But as far as it feels like the tide's slowly rising.
I mean, if you want to know what Biden has done, arguably the reason why some people. Because I guess we're kind of getting sidetracked a little bit off the.
I'm also not ready for that nigga to come back either. So.
Some of the arguments of what Biden has done has been majority social issues. I mean, people are making the argument that he has fixed the economy, but okay.
This podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds, a local Atlanta, Georgia area small business. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, your bedroom, your dining room, and they even have customizable blinds for your kids. You can put their favorite superhero or princesses on there. If you use our promo code FDT, our audience gets 10% off their first purchase. You're welcome. You can find them on their Facebook page at Angel Blinds or hit them up on Instagram at angels_blinds. Get at them. Cool. Bing bong. Yo, so my question is,
people actually think the economy's doing great right now.
$13 billion to the Ukrainian effort, right? Is there a international IRS? Do we get to write that off as a donation?
Honestly, I think it's leverage. I mean, for one, like, you look
my
great.
Question is,
there's some big plays being happened going on right now. 100%.
But then my question is it not, if these things cost and the only thing we get back is intangible leverage for, like, I guess it would be information or from like Ukraine? Actual placement in Ukraine, like having something out there, you know what I'm saying, on that part of the earth or whatever. If that's something that's intangible, basically, that you get until you're actually able to set up physical things there or physical relationships, why is that $13 billion? If you know you can invest that in your people, then just do it. It's almost weird to me what we're willing to spend money on as a country, like in large lumps. And
I think that's a difficult thing to assume because a large majority of the country wants to help them. So, I mean, sending money is a better thing. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's a fucking, issue. Sending money when we don't want to drop boots in the country is still helping. And so
but then
the leverage there, though, you gain a lot of leverage with all the European countries. Should they win the conflict, you gain a ton of leverage because you were there funding their campaign. I mean, the same thing France did for other countries, even us. Like, the reason why we go back to help France whenever they have issues is because they funded our independence. And so, it pays off, but it's not going to pay off immediately. But I do understand what you're saying, where like there are immediate people starving and suffering within this nation. So why send it over there?
But my question is, you could literally do it if we sent money to Ukraine already, right?
Yeah.
And Ukraine wasn't at war. Every dime that we sent to Ukraine could have been used for something here, but just wouldn't have been.
Well, let me spin the table on you here. What about the government? Like, what is it, the boogeyman argument of like the Republicans not wanting to give any kind of healthcare or anything to anybody?
I'm not even
just like, so what if the money gets locked into fucking bureaucracy on our country, and at that point, like, yeah, we still have it, but it's just like
that's literally my point. That's what I'm saying. If the Ukraine thing wasn't happening, the things that I'm talking about that the money could have been spent on still wouldn't have had the money spent on. Like, there are public schools or whatever, they're in horrible conditions. Books, old books, shit like that. Just small infrastructure stuff, roads, like just literal like government hospitals. Like, there are people who actually have to come. Like, they complain about money. We can't do this because we don't have enough money. But then when we need it, all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. So my question is, why are these not needs? Why are these just seen as wants? Then this is a need. We need to support Ukraine. So much so that we need to give them 13 more billion. But then there's shit that we actually need, but it's viewed as a want. But why is, like, I know it's kind of it's general the way I'm approaching it. There's a lot of bureaucracy and everything that goes into the trickle down effect of the money and who actually gets what and where it goes. The point just still remains, though. It's just wild to me that immediately we can put things together in order to get these people money. And it's no offense to anybody in Ukraine. I mean, except for the way they was treating black folks, so maybe it was a little bit of offense. But then you have things going on here, and I'm not even talking about black people. I'm talking about literal infrastructure, the roads, buildings, the schools, the hospitals, the fire departments, the police stations, police training, fire training, military. Like, there's so many other things. I don't fuck the military. They got a lot of bread, but there's so many other things that they could parse their money up for. But even without conflict, they wouldn't do it for. So to me, it's just wild to even hear something like this could possibly exist, and the niggas still debating on student loans, man.
But that's why it's funny. Like, people are surprised Trump won, but this is the exact reason why Trump won.
I'm not ready for
stuff
that
like
either,
this.
Man.
Like, this is what he's been in politics for 50 years, and that's what blows my mind that Biden won again, because we went from Trump, which y'all have. Like, I'm a Trump supporter. Y'all had your contentions, which I've talked with Doc about. Like, I understand. Dude's bombastic. Guy is, like Doc said, if he just didn't get on Twitter, he might have won re-election. Trump just, man, he's just not eloquent, I guess, or very polite, I guess. I don't know what you want to say. But he ran a good country, in my opinion. And y'all chose 50 years of what we've been doing. The reason why Trump even got voted in office. Y'all went back to that, and now we're seeing why. Honestly, like, 2024 is going to be interesting because we're now seeing why Trump won. This is why Trump won. So either Trump's going to win again, or we're going to make, as a country, a big decision come 2024. It's going to be interesting.
I hope it's the big decision.
Well, is he running again? I thought he was just like,
He's been flirting with it, but let's be honest. Trump's going to win again. His ego can't handle the loss. Let's be honest. Trump's ego can't handle the loss. He's running again for sure. Like, he's been flirting with it, but let's be honest. Trump's got an ego. His ego can't handle the loss. He's running in 2024.
My thing is, I think right now, because people were like, we just came out of the whole like election of the decade or election of the century or some shit like that, and so people are really kind of keen onto politics still. With 2024, I honestly think if the Republicans were to put somebody up that was a strong candidate, that was just like, charismatic and also spoke well and wasn't bombastic like you're saying, that person would probably win, because they're just like, all right, Biden's not actually working out. Like, it's just, like we calm the waters as far as, like Twitter not, riling up the country and stuff like that. Like, now it kind of needs to actually have the gears turning properly, and so I think they might vote for a Republican who can do that.
We'll see. I just know it's going to be interesting. Things are already starting to heat up, but man, once we get close to 24, I think it's going to heat up. It's going to be real interesting.
And just to add a side note, I do think that like if Trump also runs under Republican, if there's another Republican there, that like honestly, like if DeSantis is there, probably I think people might vote over DeSantis over Trump.
I'd admit that right now. If it was between DeSantis and Trump, I'd vote DeSantis. I admit that right now. But I think they've been talking though. They've been talking, so I don't think DeSantis is running 2024. He might be as vice president, maybe. I think it's more likely he's going to wait till 2028. I could be wrong there though.
I do think that Trump's definitely going to have like his diehards, but yeah, if there's a more like centrist-leaning Republican, I think he'll take the majority.
Did any politicians die
not really
of COVID?
Viewed as a centrist. He's viewed as more of like a reasonable conservative, I guess, would be a more accurate way to put it. So I don't know if that would make him like. Is there anyone you know as center? Like no one's really center right now, at least when it comes to an elected official.
I think I
can't think of anyone.
I think you described it better. DeSantis just seems more like he's just not as bombastic. That's the only trait he's missing from Trump, I think, and I think that would actually go a long way.
Like I don't get the politician vibe. Like when Mike Pence spoke, bro. Yes, he is younger. I think he's mid 30s, or maybe early 40s, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, like
you can't be president until 40, right?
35.
Oh, 35.
35.
Oh, I just said something.
Damn, I got 4 years, man.
Right, this guy.
I know I'm gonna get it first try.
Hell no. But I guess to finish real quick, like that's what bothered me about Mike Pence when he would speak. It's like, bro, you give me that itchy politician vibe, bro. I just don't like it. I don't like that persona. Like the instantly got the shoulders up, chest out, neck straight, deadlock stare into the camera, and just
lie.
And lie, bro.
And just lie. Like
that would
look you straight in the face and lie.
I got hot sauce in my purse. Let me just go get a beer.
Well, I've always met people like when I was younger that voted for W. Bush because they liked that he would like lean on the podium when he would talk and
dodge shoes.
Like, stiff. And he would move.
I ain't gonna lie, I fucked with my boy because he goddamn he was the funniest president that I've seen in my life. Like,
yeah, it's hilarious.
When he dodged the shoe, or when he couldn't open the door, and then he saluted. Oh, yo,
did he like run into the door and then try to open it?
He tried to open it. I think I don't know if he tried to push it at first, but I know he tried to pull it or something, and it was a push door. Whatever it was vice versa.
And after two,
my son turned and saluted, gangster. That was gangster.
Oh, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast FDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all fake deep thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.